Welcome to the Prisoner2Painter Podcast, stories of inspiration, where we talk about mental health, addiction, religion, becoming a business owner and self-sufficient, for what, when, where, and why. Join us and we can be your local hope dealer.
Inspiration and dedication. I came a long way from sleeping in them pages. I got my life back. I feel amazing. Life's a book, don't get stuck on sad pages. Rainy days with no money. Hard work leads to days that are sunny. Looking back, it was all needed. The problems, the pain, the trauma, the grieving. You are now tuned in to the Prisoner2Painter. Prisoner2Painter. Hard work, dedication. Rainy days, inspiration. Prisoner2Painter.
And now, a word from your local hope dealer.
Just start one.
I have a friend in Howell that does a political podcast. He does as long as it takes 3, 4, 5 hours.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, dude, I can't even watch your shit.
Yeah,
I can't watch that.
Well, Jocko.
Yeah.
Do you know what Jocko Willnick? He's on like.
For some reason, that name
So he's famous. He's like a Navy SEAL, but his podcasts are awesome. But 2.5 hours,
No.
I can't do it. I can't. I love you, but I can't do it, dude. Awesome. Welcome to the Prisoner2Painter Podcast. I'm Nathan McDermott, and today joining us is Russ Jennings.
Oh, hi.
Thank you for
We're
coming
on,
on.
I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All right.
we are. Yep. No,
We were just here shooting the
yes, sir.
shooting shit there. I didn't know we were ready to go. Let's go.
Yep, yes, sir. No, I feel like it opens up more organic and dude. So here we start from childhood, and I mean, you kind of get what we do here.
Okay.
I do. I've been writing down more questions instead of trying to remember them, and I got a pretty good list here. So I wanted to start with well, you grew up here in Jackson, Michigan, right?
Born and raised.
Awesome. So what was your family dynamic like growing up?
Kind of poor.
Okay.
Kind of poor. Divorced parents.
Okay.
I was 5 years old.
Mhm.
Dad was in my life, but for many years not very supportive until later. You know, just the struggles I think with young people in divorce, and pretty much raised by my mother. I'm a mama's boy, and thankfully, And me, my mother, and my sister, and you know, we didn't come up with it. We always had everything we needed, but we didn't have everything we wanted.
Yep.
So grew up basically in the Napoleon area, Vandercook, Napoleon area. Moved around a little bit, you know, when we were young teenagers, but still stayed in the area. My mother did really good keeping us fed and keeping us in a rural community. She thought it was important that we stay in the rural school districts, rural communities. She was born and raised in town. She didn't have a problem at town. None of us did, but that was her goal, and she did a really good job at doing that. So I graduated from Napoleon High School, 1985.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, this is what I love about this is a lot of people in the community know you as Russ Jennings, the bar owner, or Russ Jennings, the Republican, or Russ Jennings, the chairperson. And I don't feel like anybody gets to hear this part.
Yeah.
And this is why I wanted to
You
do
did
this.
good with that. I know.
I appreciate that, man. I didn't know you grew up in Napoleon. That's wild. I went there for a little bit. I went to Ackerson because I was a troubled kid.
So I went to Ackerson when I was elementary.
Okay.
It was originally an elementary school.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Man.
I grew up just down the street.
Gotcha. Yep. We grew up. Well, I didn't grow up. I grew up in Fowlerville, but we live on Benton Road.
Yeah.
You know, so right that area.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So the early years growing up, I feel like you have a standard of success just from what I picked up on. Where did you get that from?
You know, people ask that, and there's no real answer to that question. I've never. Maybe I take it for granted. I don't see myself successful. I'm always striving for more.
Understood.
I've struggled just like anybody else. You know, I've been married 3 times. Married to my 3rd wife now. I don't see that ever changing. Of course, I always told her when we got married, I says, we ain't divorced, and I'm not going through that again. You know, I've got 3 of my own sons. She's got a son, so I say I have 4 sons. They're all adults, probably your age or older. And they just, you know, I've had my struggles. I've had my between marriages where I was in the bar every day. I've even had my runarounds with drug abuse.
Yeah.
You know, now I don't have that much of addictive of a personality. I've always been able to walk away from hanging out at the bar too much or doing whatever drug that I was partying with. I've always been able to walk away from it.
Gotcha.
So I don't have an addictive personality to where I'm hung up on. We all know those people that have alcohol problems or drug problems and they have a hard time shaking them. I've never had a problem with that. I will say the most addictive product in the world is nicotine. And I smoked for 40 years.
Wow.
And I quit 3 years ago.
Awesome.
But I'm still on the pouches.
Gotcha.
Damn nicotine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I've been through all that, and age slows you down a little bit. You start looking at things differently, and then maybe if you want to call it success slows you down. I'm a firm believer the people you hang out with is the world that you live in. There's a lot of truth to that, and I've hung out with some. I've never thought they were bad people, but I've hung out with all kinds of different people. And I think my life turned around probably the most because of age and my current wife. And we're both the same age, and we just started looking at things differently. But when I met her at a bowling alley in Michigan Center, you know, and because I was, you know, in between marriages, and the Monster Motors used to be a bowling alley. That was my favorite spot. They hired this hot bartender, and you know, I would pop in there to see her. And so when we met, you know, we thought we budgeted going out every Friday and Saturday and all that stuff. There was nothing wrong with that. No. And I always wanted to own a bar. And we had an opportunity by McThirsty's, and I bought McThirsty's. And although I learned a lot and I don't regret it, I would never do it again.
Understood.
Never do it again. It's a whole lot of work for very little money. And McThirsty's had its reputation on the weekends, especially, you know, had some run-ins that I don't prefer to go through again. But then again, I was also born and raised in this town, so I know how the town is. So I knew what to expect and all that. But yeah, there's that. But I had a lot of jobs in between there.
Gotcha. No, that's funny. That's Katie's mom's backyard is McThirsty's. So I, you know, maybe in a past life we probably ran into each other without even knowing it. But
no, you know, on the weekends, man, when I had that was a hopping place.
Yes, man. It was.
We would pack the house. We'd had days where they would park all the way down Horton Street, the shop behind there. I mean, it was amazing that what we did out of that at times. It really was.
Man, we and I'm glad he said that. We never compare, always relate here. It's just something we do. But there's something he said about like you are who you hang out with, and I dug my way out of that because I was the guy that sat on the porch and drank too many beers with the same people every Saturday, and I clawed my way out of that. That's why I'm like I'm obsessed with meeting people like you, Amador, Phil, all these people. And because if you're hanging out with 7 bums, you'll be the 8th. If you're hanging out with 8 millionaires, you'll be the 8th.
And then you're so right with that. But then again, I think about groups of friends or friends that I've had over my years, and some of them I might not prefer to hang out with now. But I don't regret hanging out with those people. I mean, I've had some great friends and relationships with people that I may not want to hang out with now. You learn off them people, but it is your success is kind of who you hang out with or associate with or be around. And like maybe 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been comfortable saying that. But it's the truth. And you just mentioned some people, and I know every single one of them. And what great role models to be near or learn off from the best you can. You want to learn off people like that, or do you want to learn off people that never work, sell drugs, drunk every day, all day? You know, who do you want to learn off from here? No, I met some pretty smart drunk people in my day. I can't say that I haven't.
And successful drunk people.
I have to. Like, definitely.
You know, I don't want to learn from them, but
I get it.
They got the recipe, man. Who was the most influential person in your life growing up?
Probably my mom, my dad. I always looked up to my dad.
Awesome.
you know, my when I was little, I don't think my dad was like me when I was through my first divorce. He was there, but not there.
I got you.
Not till I got older, but I always looked up to dad. Who doesn't look up to dad?
Yep.
And but you know, mom set the course.
Mhm.
I had some two uncles that were very important in my life. My grandparents, my grandpa lived up the road, and
Okay.
grandpa was everything, you know. But
Mhm.
I think about my uncles. I had an uncle on my mom's side, an uncle on my dad's side.
Mhm.
That my uncle on my mom's side owned a bike shop in town called Pedal and Tour. It was on Francis Street.
Okay.
You know, and I remember being a kid, and he'd pay me to sweep the parking lot, and then he hired me to assemble bicycles.
Mhm.
I was, 14, 15 years old.
Mhm.
So you learn a lot off
Yeah.
people. Like, he was successful. He's still successful.
Awesome.
So now we're politically not the same anymore. We've drifted apart over the years, not because of politics, but then I had another uncle when I was fresh out of high school that owned a successful concrete company in Dallas, Texas.
Mhm.
And right out of high school, I ran down to Dallas, and
Okay.
I was going to start a career down there,
Yeah.
working concrete. Yeah, but within a year I came back.
Mhm.
But you look at, they showed you. I had people in my life that showed me how to be a man.
Yes, sir. Yep.
My mother did a good job of showing me how to be a man,
Yeah.
or not what to do to be a man. But those were some role models in my life.
It's funny you say that, because as much as my dad taught me, my mom taught some of the habits my dad might have taught me to do. My mom, don't do those. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really what
My
a man
mother
does,
is the most down to earth, normal-ish person. She's not normal. She's probably watching.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
In the roles that I hold as a Leone Township trustee and as a chairman of the Republican Party, or even jobs that I've had over the years,
Mhm.
I could call mom on the phone and run that scenario by her that you're dealing with. She has no idea. She's not there.
Yeah.
But she would give you that normal person. She still does it to this, that normal person where you're like, mom hit it.
Yep.
She
Yeah.
hit it,
Yep.
and she's that normal advice person.
Yep.
She's not the most educated person by no means,
Mhm.
but the most normal, give you some advice. And I don't even think she goes out of her way it just comes to her and she'll say something. And I'm like, oh, I think mom just nailed it.
Simple. and
Still
it's
to
there.
this day, she does that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So before we move on a little bit, the same two questions actually 3 questions, because I almost forgot one. What was your favorite cereal growing up?
You know what? I'm a cereal lover.
Okay, awesome.
Of all cereals. It doesn't matter if it's grapefruits or Fruity Pebbles.
Awesome.
I'm a cereal lover,
Awesome.
but I think growing up, it's Raisin Bran,
Okay,
and I like the chocolate ones too.
got you.
What
Not Fruity Pebbles.
the Rice
Cocoa
Krispies,
Crisp.
like turn your
Yeah.
milk to chocolate.
Yeah.
Those were my favorite.
Yeah.
I got to tell you though, I probably haven't had a bowl of cereal in 3 years.
Gotcha.
Health reasons
Yeah.
and all that. But I am a fan of all
Awesome.
cereals.
It's funny. It started as a joking question, but I've realized how much you can learn from it.
I think that's a great
There's,
question.
well, there's people that it's like, it spoke to so much more. So growing up, somebody said Raisin Bran, and then later on in the story, we learned that they grew up with their grandma, and it's like, oh my god, like if you learn so much from such a simple question. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I used to stay a lot of weekends at my grandpa's house, and he made cream of wheat.
Okay.
I can't tell you last time I had cream of wheat, but I know I liked my cream of wheat. I was all right with it. I didn't know anybody oatmeal, but cream of wheat. But whatever. Yeah.
What was your favorite childhood memory?
Geez, it depends on the day when you think about that.
Yep.
Maybe it was like when I was the little kid under 10, and I remember the days of riding your bike all day long in a neighborhood that you knew everybody.
Yep.
And your parents didn't keep track of you, and you just rode your bike. I was having an uncle in the bike shop business. So I always had a sweet bike.
Yep.
And for a poor kid, I always had the nicest bike. And but riding your bike, and I was just telling one of my sons, we had a makeshift baseball field in the back of our neighborhood. Had a backstop and everything.
Oh, geez.
You never know when we were just having a baseball game.
Yeah.
But we also did kid stuff that you're not supposed to do,
Yeah.
you know, and I remember doing that, and you learn from those. You got away with some of it.
Yeah.
You didn't get away with some of it,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So but then, you know, if you want to dig deep, you think about high school, you know, and the proms and
Yep.
things like that. But I go back a lot lately to being a little kid, and I think societies doesn't have that as much.
Yeah.
And not to get in the weeds here, I have to take that back to a certain degree. Where I live now, I live on Center Lake,
Yep.
Michigan Center Lake, and great people, and all kinds of different families, from young kids to older people, a lot of older people.
Yep.
But one thing I've noticed that little boys are out doing little boy stuff more than what people say, more than what you hear in the media.
Yep.
I watch little boys and girls, but I'll reference little boys out catching frogs and fishing all day, and just screwing around along the lake shore or the creeks or something like that.
Yep.
And it always takes me back to when I was a kid. And I always appreciate when I see little kids doing that now.
No,
and they're out there doing it.
Yeah, no, this
They're
is
out
what
there
I
doing
love
it.
about getting in the weeds, Russ, is because always relating, man, is I hear this too of, you know, kids aren't doing the same thing. Kids aren't in if you quit looking at the news, and I'll say that very vaguely, but if you quit looking at the news and you go I talk to my cousin's friends or kids, they are not inside playing on their phones like everybody says they are. They're outside doing stuff they're not supposed to, but whatever, I'll let that go. You know?
I'm going to bring up a great example.
Yeah.
They just started last week.
Okay.
They're called carpers. They rig up their boats or pontoons with these lights, and they shoot carp with crossbows or with bows. Spear them.
Yeah.
And at night, they'll shine up your whole house. And it's normally teenagers, upper teenagers, young adults.
Yep.
They'll come through midnight, 1 o'clock. Listen, I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
They're drinking beer, smoking weed.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're not hurting nobody.
No.
They are doing exactly what young boys or older boys and young men should do.
Yep.
They're not bothering anybody, out shooting carp.
Yep.
Sometimes there's complaints on social media about it, and I just want to scream. They are not bothering anything, you know, not one bit. That's what they need. It could be worse.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Katie is funny. She's not feeling good, but she still loves. She wanted to be a part of this. What values were emphasized in your household when you were a kid that made you on this trajectory?
You know, I've noticed Katie asked the harder question.
She does. So
she could have stayed ill.
Yeah, that's what I told. She does ask the
what
very
values are
educated
emphasized.
Yeah, well, that led you down this path.
You know what? I don't think they were ever said. They were just implied.
Okay.
I think if you're a good enough parent, doing the right thing is implied. I don't never remember my dad's more critical. He'd be like, "Hey, boy, you need to not do this." But my mother never was like that, you know. But it's implied. Don't steal. Don't be mean to people.
Yep.
Don't do dumb shit.
Yeah.
We all did it. I've been mean to people.
Yep.
You know, but you learn. Do you feel bad after you did that?
Exactly.
Every single time.
Yep.
Even as an adult, you're like, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So I think it's more implied than said.
Yep. And then one other question before we move on is I always ask what your favorite memory is. Always on the other coin. What was your least favorite memory?
Yeah, it's childhood.
Yep.
I don't know. I was pretty young, but maybe the parents divorcing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
My mother went through some relationships that were turbulent, and she shielded us from that. But now that I'm an adult, you know, or know better. You know, those weren't great things to go through. You know, I'm gonna in the weeds real quick.
Yep. Always.
I want a BMX trophy.
Okay.
That uncle had a bike shop, and I used to go and race BMX bikes.
Okay.
And I'll never forget this. I won a BMX trophy. My grandpa, who I talked about, was a phenomenal golfer.
Okay.
And he had a table in his basement full of golf trophies collecting dust.
Okay.
He didn't have them displayed in the house or nothing. Never knew why.
Yeah.
Just collecting dust. Had to have been 50 of them.
Wow.
I come go to Grandpa. Grandpa, I'm 13, 14.
Yeah.
Look at this trophy I made.
Yeah.
My grandpa, who was a great guy, he says to me, "That's nice, boy, but you can't eat trophies." And I remember crying. I remember walking away crying, hurt by that. So it sticks with you.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, that old man was right.
Yeah.
You can eat trophies.
Nope.
And I never knew why he kept those trophies he had in the basement.
Gotcha.
Some of them trophies might have came with a check, like in Pro-Am golf or something. I don't know. But he's right.
Yeah.
Now, should a 13, 14-year-old boy be said that by somebody you look up to so
Yeah.
much? Probably not.
Yeah.
But then again, and I'm sure it just came out of his mouth.
Yep.
But it was a learning experience, something I remember. And I can't say that he's wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. No, my grandpa one time, I stepped on a tax strip because they were ripping up their carpet after he told me 3 or 4 times not to walk in the kitchen. And he blew up on me, "You stupid." You know, he's an old jarhead, so take it with a grain of salt. And instantly you could tell he regretted it. His face.
Yeah.
And, but, you know, you're a kid. "Oh, Grandpa." You know, it was, I
think Grandpa didn't. He might have regretted he didn't have a response. He
Gotcha.
just, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't cry in front of him, like, you know, how you
Oh,
do.
no,
I went behind
never.
the shed and cried, and you know, but
Yep.
no, the old boy was probably right.
Yep.
You know.
No, you're on the money, man.
Yeah.
So you've seen the community specifically because you've been here all your life, pretty much. Well, I'm sure you've gone other places. But I'm saying you've been here all your life, living here. How over the decades, what is your favorite memory from here? Like something that might have left, or
I love Jackson. You know, we both know there's a lot of complaints and there's a lot of problems, but I always look at Jackson more positively than most, I think, or than what maybe I should.
Yeah.
I don't know what I miss. You know, I think, man, I've seen so much come and go over the years. Nothing sticking out to me that I'm like miss, but it makes me sad when I go through Vandercook and Summit Lanes is still closed. No one's bought that. Or several things like that. You drive around, well, what happened? Why is that still like that? I don't. And every city has this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, but I don't just, you asking that question, Summit Lanes comes to mind. I didn't go to Summit Lanes. I mean, heck, I've been there in Bowl, but those things make me sad when I see nothing happen. And those things happen over the years all over town, you know. But I love the city of Jackson and the county of Jackson. I especially love the county of Jackson. You know how lucky we are with all the lakes and the beautiful countryside. From Pulaski Township to Grass Lake Township to Waterloo. I live in a township that's one of the largest in size in the state of Michigan, Leone Township. Everybody thinks that Leone is Michigan Center. It goes miles north of Seymour Road. It borders Portage Lake. In a big majority of that is beautiful state land. We are so fortunate. And then you come into town here, and I've lived in the city. I prefer not to, but what a great city with Cascades and Ellis Sharp Park and a beautiful downtown that's had its ups and downs. It's had its ups and downs. And you and I have a mutual friend, Rick, and he'll talk about, he's helped with the ups, but we've seen the ups and downs. And I like to see the growth, but then I look at the haze and I'm like, what happened here? You know, what's going on? And I don't know. It's a journey. I travel the state in my role as a Republican county chair. I learned that it's a great way to network with other county chairs and this and that. And I do that. I'm constantly promoting Jackson. I don't care if I'm in Rochester Hills or in Saginaw or wherever I am, I'm always promoting Jackson. But you know what gets me? We'll have an event or something downtown. For example, we had there's a political PAC, and they had a Christmas party they hosted in Jackson in the upper level of the Chase. This is a couple of years ago. Had a great time. And people came from all around the state. One thing they complain about. no hotels downtown.
No, there's not.
So the hotels are all north of town.
Yep.
So if you have a few beers, you got to get from downtown.
Yep. Or by Red Lobster.
Red Lobster, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
North end of town there,
Yep.
which ain't far. There is no transportation. There's no Ubers you can call. There's no Lyft you can call. You can, but you ain't gonna get one.
Yeah.
The cab companies are closed up. I think there are a couple of people out there giving rides.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my good friend and treasurer of our party was a 37-year owner of Colonial Cab.
No kidding.
Now they transitioned from cab company to medical transportation toward the end, but COVID closed them down. But there's no transportation.
No.
But the cool thing a lot of them said, we didn't even know Jackson had a downtown.
Yeah.
So all of them have driven down 94. You're going to Battle Creek or you're going the opposite way to Ann Arbor or whatever, and you see the sign Jackson. By the way, it looks great on 94.
Yeah, it does.
It promotes Jackson way more than it ever has over the years. But you don't realize they're downtown. You turn off Cooper and you start heading south on Cooper towards downtown. You start seeing the buildings.
Yeah.
And they were like, we didn't realize Jackson has a downtown.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy.
No, sorry, you just kind of lost me. And
no,
as I'm smiling like that,
Yeah.
The way you describe Jackson will just make people it just made me smile. Man.
Well, I sat on the why am I going to forget it? Drive Jackson board.
Okay.
And Drive Jackson is a controversial, at least in my political world, it's controversial. The county put in some money, the city put in the money, gave it to the chamber. The chamber hired a consultant company, and the chamber randomly picked community leaders throughout the community. We took a year, 9 months or something on what would we want Jackson to look like in 20 years.
Yeah.
And that particular committee included Mayor Mahoney and the gal that runs Residents in Action, and to me and some doctors and some teachers.
So just some scattered about people. Awesome.
People you would normally we all wouldn't be in the same room together.
Yes, sir.
We were forced to put in the same room together and work on projects an hour here for 9 months.
Gotcha.
And I lost track why we even went there, but that was kind of cool coming up with a 20-year plan, and they're launching that 20-year plan. But part of that was downtown hotel, expanded downtown, safety, of course, by the way, the police chief, Chris Simpson, was on the committee and all that. So it was neat to get people that normally don't get in the room together together to come up with a 20-year plan for Jackson. Whether we can ease on that plan, whether the county commission or the city will have the vision to take the steps,
keep doing it.
Whether it was the right idea to have an outside Columbus, Ohio agency come in to help guide this.
Yeah.
Maybe why couldn't those people that I was in that room with, why couldn't we have done that on our own?
Yeah.
Then again, I didn't see us putting it together.
Fair enough.
We weren't calling each other on the phone and me saying, Mayor Mahoney, let's get together with 30 other people. So maybe it potentially could have success.
Almost needed a mediator, almost is what it sounds
Yeah.
like, or not a mediator.
Well, one thing I took from it,
Mhm.
all those people in the room, some of them weren't born and raised in Jackson, but most of us were, and we have the same goal to make our community better.
Yep.
And that's where Amador comes in, why I'm sitting here today.
Yep.
Because I've seen your show.
Mhm.
Right. I told you yesterday when we see each other, I've watched full episodes, normally 15, 20 minutes out. People watch podcasts.
And that's why I said about the hour length is what we do because of that.
But Dina Morgan, who runs that We the People page, would post your show, and I'm going through my news feed one day, and bam, there's Amador.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I watched that whole show.
Yeah.
Well, me and Amador got to know each other maybe less than a year ago.
Okay.
And we're talking the chair of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Me and Amador like each other.
Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you, there's conversations me and Amador don't go nowhere near together.
Yes, sir.
I'm not convincing him. He's not convincing me.
Yep.
But we do have one common goal
Mhm.
to make our community better.
Yep.
And there's certain things that I think we haven't been able to seize on it yet, but I think there's a couple things that we could probably work on together that we can agree on.
Mhm.
Maybe it's property taxes. Maybe it's this or that. But Amador, think he'll agree. We're near the same age. We're born and raised here. I am a former corrections officer.
Okay.
He had a 32-year career. I did just over 10 years as a corrections officer. By the way, I graduated in 1985. There was no freaking jobs in this town.
Understood.
There was none.
Yep.
By 1989, I'm working at the prison. They lowered the age from 25 to be 21. The minute I turned 21.
Yeah, that was around the riots, right? 89 was right around the
riots.
riots.
The riots were a few years prior.
Okay.
And I took the courses. You had to take these courses. My dad paid for them. And I'm waiting around to turn 21 and get the call from them. I was selling cars.
Okay.
I think I was at Art Main Chevrolet. And I was doing okay. Awesome. My oldest son was born, I didn't have my other sons yet, young family. And I was doing okay making a living, and the prison called.
Yeah.
And my dad finds out about it. He said, "Oh, you going?" I go, "Dad, I don't think I'm going." Yeah. You dumb son of a bitch. You're right?
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad, I'm doing okay selling cars. You can't sell cars. You have to go work there. The bennies, the pension, the health care, the money. And one of the few times in life I listened to Dad and went to work out to the prison. Awesome. But it was a culture shock.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this in offensive at all. I graduated from Napoleon High School with 72 white people.
Yeah. No, I get it.
72 white people.
Yes, sir.
Some of them drove their tractors to school.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so I wasn't immune to other communities and other people. I had grandparents that lived in town. I went out of touch.
No, I get it.
But you insert a 21-year-old with that background, let me tell you, you learn a lot on how other people are.
Yep.
It's sink or swim, man.
It's funny. We're probably 50 years apart, let's say. Maybe not that much, maybe 40 years apart. I lived in Fowlerville. The first black guy that came to our school was McKean Culpepper. I remember because same experience. I'm talking 40 years later. We didn't have that. Same thing. Fowlerville was kids drove their tractors to school, literally drove their tractors to school. And when I moved to Jackson, that was like a slap in the face. There's cultures I've never seen before. Yeah, people are, and it was okay, but it was like, it was new to me. It was all new to me. And
I broke that like that because one time I said that to someone that took offense to me saying that I graduated from Napoleon with 72 white people. There's no, I'm bothered that someone would take offense. I'm just saying the truth is the truth here. And the reason why I say that is, well, now you better learn there's other people. But to say that there's other people, comparing it to people who are incarcerated is a whole different story because that's different. Yep. And then I was hired before they broke up Southern Michigan Prison. I was hired into Central. I was hired into the maximum security. Here you are, boy. Yeah. But I was a big white kid, and the big, go and put the big kids in. I worked the yard crew and all that. Yep. And I learned a lot. But I'll tell you something. I went on vacation after 10 years. I wouldn't have much problem working out there. I was doing okay. Going through a divorce. I'll tell you, you'll make your brain do something. And I went on vacation, never returned.
Understood.
You know what I did? I went and sold cars.
No kid went back to selling cars.
Not that I kept that as a job, but I went back to selling cars. I went back and sold cars and never returned. But I live near a guy who hired in near me, and he's been retired about 5 years. It looks like he's doing pretty good. What do I know? And sometimes I think, I should have stuck it out, man. I could use that sweet pension that he had. But I don't have that much regret from it. You do what you do. But I look at him sometimes. He walks 10 miles a day, and I think, wow, he's doing all right. Well, I guess I am too, though. So,
what I've learned from everybody that's come on this show, from you to Amador, and actually, I'm going to speak on that just real briefly. He has had nothing but good things to say about you, like nothing at all.
Amador,
but good.
We like each other.
Yeah, I'm actually excited that I've gotten to meet you both. And I'm excited that I'm just excited I got to meet you both. But with all these older cats, what I've learned interviewing them, and this is another thing for me. This is my selfishness. I get to learn from you guys. I will rather look back and say I fucked it up than look back and say I didn't do it. And,
Gotcha.
and that's what I just got from that is I'd rather look back and say, well, I tried it and I didn't like it. I went back to something else. I'd rather say that than I wanted to try it and I never did it.
I think we all got our fuck ups in them.
Mhm.
On us, man.
Yeah.
I've got so many I've forgotten
Understood.
more.
Mhm.
I always take this approach. Put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
You don't have to air your dirty laundry or air your fuck ups.
Yeah.
I always try to sell myself a little bit more because I don't, there's not anything I don't believe that I can't do.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people probably need to wish they'd take a better attitude like that. Sometimes it's how you present yourself.
Yes, it is.
You don't have to be fake.
Nope.
But when you're meeting a new group of people or something, you don't have to wear all your fuck ups, like you said, right on your sleeve.
Exactly.
So many people do that.
Yep. I like to dress a little nicer. Well, yes.
Yeah, I see you wearing a jacket.
Yeah,
by the way, I love wearing a jacket.
Thank you. Well, I dress.
I don't mind wearing a tie.
Yeah. No,
Never-
I
never
dress
have.
a little nicer when I met you. I dress a little nicer. And part of my fuck ups are kind of just on my sleeve because of this,
Yeah.
but I don't start with that anymore.
Right,
Now
right.
I started this podcast to get back to the community, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
It used to be I was a drunk fuck up and blah blah blah. blah.
Also,
It changed.
Don't regret. You know how you make a huge mistake
Mhm.
and you think, or a lot of people know that you fucked up,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
And you go through a week or two with it's just on your mind. Can't believe you did that.
Yep.
It always passes.
Yes, it does.
And it doesn't matter.
Nope.
It doesn't matter.
Nope.
I've noticed that some of the biggest mistakes I've ever had in my life, my true friends are still my true friends.
Yep.
My family is still my family.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Nope.
It
It doesn't.
now we all, you know how you do, you're like, it's on your mind for a week or
Yep.
days or 2 weeks. It always goes away.
Yes, it
it
does.
always goes away.
It's
Don't do it
forgotten.
again.
Yeah, it's forgotten. Like you said, don't do it again.
Don't do it.
Don't do
Well,
it.
I've made the same mistakes over and
Yeah.
over again too.
Yeah.
I have too. Does it affect other people? I guess some mistakes in
Yeah.
life do, but for the most part, it's just affecting you.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm naive to that, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think it's a bad approach.
Yeah.
You know.
See, and I'm going to start with this. We're getting about 40-minute mark.
Okay.
And mind you, it doesn't matter.
By the way, time flies when you do
yeah,
these
it
things.
does. Well, and we'll go longer. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I'm never going to cut anybody
No,
off.
I get it.
But I say that to say, I'm going to put this. We have no agenda. We have no political influence. Katie might believe what she believes. I might believe what I believe. But like on here, none of it matters because I feel like I couldn't talk to Amador and I couldn't talk to you if I was just yipping. The loudest mouths are normally the stupidest, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
all that being said,
Good phrase.
yeah, Katie asked, I have some questions for Lay. Oh, okay, that's not the question part. What is productive collaboration across political, from Republican to Democrat? What does that look like to you?
It sucks. It don't exist.
Understood.
And I won't go into my opinion to
Mhm.
why it is. I've been super active in politics for a decade,
Okay.
but I've always been politically in tune.
Okay.
And I've always been a Republican.
Okay.
Just really have. I got family members like, how'd that happen? But whatever. I just always thought that way.
Okay.
And boy, we all used to get along a little bit better than we used to do now.
Understood.
And that's where it's refreshing to where me and Amador have been discussing trying to do something together.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you though, my membership, my people
Mhm.
aren't all that comfortable with that, and
Yeah.
probably neither are his.
Yeah. Yeah.
And him and I talked one day. I've got the extremist in my party. He has the extremist in his. And him and I are very busy. And so when we're working on something, I don't want to announce it right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah. Of course.
but we decided to appoint a couple of our members
Mhm.
to help move this project along that
Awesome.
we're talking about. And we both said, okay, you don't pick an extremist on your side. I'll give you a non-extremist on mine. Normal community loving people.
Good.
And those two got together. They're friends. So we're building something here.
Good.
But it's not easy. The project that we're working on, I'm getting resistance on my side from some of the elected officials where he's had an easier time putting together. But we're just working on a project. And whether we are successful or not, it's opened the line of communication.
Awesome.
I see him at a county commission meeting. We always talk for a minute. I don't care who sees us, and he doesn't care either. And but that just doesn't exist anymore.
Gotcha.
It really doesn't. And I think we can blame both sides.
Mm-hmm.
We really can.
But see, man, but that's the first step. And if younger people like me don't see that, then it'll never transpire into more. And that's why I look up to, I smile so much, and I say I look up to these people. I do, though. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. To see two people on far ends of things come together, that it shows me hope for the future. Because if kids see that, then it can be done again. If my generation don't see that, then it will never happen again. It is impossible.
I can only change it to a small degree.
Yeah.
I don't have the solution for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do my best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you take recent county commission meetings. The sheriff is holding ICE detainers, for example, for 48 hours or something for ICE. Mm-hmm. And the people on the left are very upset about that. And we're like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so there was 100 people protesting this at a county commission meeting. Okay. And some of them I was extremely offended by what they said, but most were like, oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And hopefully they were doing the same thing with a couple of our normal speaking people, just the pros and the cons. Yeah. But there's too much far left or far right. Exactly. There just really is. Yeah.
No, and I've come to that conclusion is that most of you guys are normal. But most of everybody's normal.
Everybody, it needs to ratchet down just a little bit. I don't have the solution for it. But.
No, I was just, I'm glad we just got to discuss that a little bit.
Yeah. It bothers me.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. So I know we talked a little bit about you owning a bar.
Yeah.
And you say you probably want to get back into it, and I totally understand that. Was you owning a bar? Did that help you get into politics? Was it like something that you like, fuck this, or It
was the reason. It's how it happened. Okay. It's not the reason. So, like I said, I've always leaned towards Republican way of thinking, and occasionally, prior to me owning McThirsty's or becoming active in the Republican Party, I would go to a Napoleon Township board meeting or something, and usually it's over an issue or something, and I put my 2 cents in. So I always paid attention to politics and the news and all that, always. But when we bought McThirsty's, I had a customer that came in often for lunch. Okay. And I knew he was an active Republican, right? I didn't even know there was a Republican Party in Jackson. I didn't know any of that. And he'd come in, we'd talk politics, right? And he goes, "Hey, Russ, you ever think about being a Republican precinct delegate?" And I go, "What the hell is that?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?" And people are probably asking, "What the hell is that?" Mm-hmm. Well, a precinct delegate is actually this is not the real definition. Mm-hmm. It's membership, active membership, representing the Republican Party. Okay. And there's a process to that. The Democrats have it also. Okay. You file this affidavit, which is easy, and you turn it into the clerk, and you're on the ballot in August, the August primary, to be either Republican precinct delegate or a Democrat precinct delegate. The other parties aren't represented on the ballot, just those two big ones. Okay. And a precinct, there's so many precincts in each township.
Gotcha.
And there's so many delegates to each precinct. Okay. And I tell you what, I go, man, I could be on the ballot? Really? That's how, and yeah, dude, and check this out. So I did it and I won, which doesn't mean a lot. It's not like there's fierce competition.
No, it's still cool. I mean, that's cool.
And I won. And then you get invited to a county convention. In that particular convention, I think they were choosing people to go to a state convention. Okay. I don't know. And I remember walking in and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Parliamentarians and all this stuff, and they weren't that friendly, And I remember the guy brought me in and says, "Hey, maybe when you're done, you can get on our executive committee." Okay. That's the core committee that runs the day-to-day operation, the business operation of a county party.
Gotcha.
Well, I didn't get it the first time. No one knew me.
Yeah.
And most people walk from that. Okay. A lot of people I went in with said, "I don't want you didn't pick me the first time." I just kept coming around.
Gotcha.
I'd go to all their meetings, whether they wanted me there or not.
Yeah.
And since I owned McThirsty's, one of these committee meetings that they have monthly, I decided I'd feed them.
Okay.
So I took a taco bar,
Awesome.
right, and fed it the whole committee, 40 people, taco bar. And
made them like you. Made them, huh?
I bought my way with food. I bought my way with food.
Yeah.
I ended up on this executive committee by, I wish more people would do that because I'm usually hungry at those things. But I bought my way with food, and I've been an executive committee member, which is, there's 40 of us, 42 of us in Jackson. Let me explain something real quick. 21 of them are elected officials in Jackson, from the sheriff to the clerk to the treasurer. Any Republican county commissioners representing Jackson, certain roles, are automatically on this executive committee.
Okay.
And then we call ourselves the elected. We are people from the community that matches those 21 people. So there's 42 that make up this committee. So elected side, non-elected side. Those aren't the official terms. It's just a good way to explain it.
Okay.
And so I represented that non-elected side for several years. And I ran for treasurer. I had no business being a treasurer.
Okay.
I'm not a treasurer guy. But no one ever wanted it. And I'm like, hey, that's a good way for me to get to the next level.
Yes, sir. Yep.
in this game. And I won. Luckily, I put on a deputy treasurer. She did all the work.
Okay.
But that made me a voting member on every committee, every subcommittee, and it really put it in. And next thing you know, I didn't want it, but I ended up being the chairman over some difficulties we had in the party. And now I'm on my second term as chairman. And,
awesome.
On state committee and all that. And I enjoy it. Something I brag about, which is cool. Up until me, we never had a chairman for over 12 years that did more than one term as chairman. So it's rare to find somebody that's crazy enough to do this position for a second term. And I'm considering a third term.
Understood.
So yeah, it's a thing, but we're always looking for members. I always say this, you can skip that whole precinct delegate thing. We always need volunteers. You just contact me or anybody, and there's stuff to do, you know. The whole job of the Republican Party is one thing, and that's elect Republicans. It's not fighting against abortion. It's not fighting for Second Amendment rights. It's not all those issues are important to us, but we are an organization whose one goal is to elect Republicans. We're not designed to fight the issues. Our job is to find candidates and get them elected that'll help us fight those issues that we believe so much in. Election integrity, whatever it is, there's a whole long list of them. A lot of people come to the Republican Party, we're mad about this. What are you going to do? Well, no, we're going to find a candidate. We're going to get them elected. Help us fight. That's our main role.
Understood. Awesome, man. Through the evolution of you going from a bar over to this or just whatever. Do you think social media has helped politics or not helped politics, or even helped business owners, or you know? I know it's a hot button. I know people don't like that question very much.
I wish it didn't exist.
Understood.
I can't say it didn't help.
Yeah.
When I owned my business, Facebook, for example, was just really starting to get going, and that's how I promoted hamburgers and events. It worked to a certain degree, but in hindsight, I wish we weren't in that world. For some reason, businesses existed without it. Political parties existed without it. Who was I watching? Bill Maher.
I like him.
And you look at whether you agree with him or not. I don't always agree with him, but whether you agree with him or not, he does no social media. And you're like, well, how are you so in tune with what's going on without social media? Well, because it's possible. I've been thinking about lately. I doubt I'll do it. I'm coming off social media. It's on my mind. I doubt I will. But I think, well, where would I get my information? The information you're getting, you got to sort through the bullshit.
Anyways,
you can't hardly believe anything you see. on there. You try to confirm it.
Yep.
I don't know if it's helped society at all, man.
Mark Twain said it, and then Denzel Washington re-quoted it. But it said, if you want to, you want false news, go to the media. You want real news, go to your neighbor, or something like that. But that's what it's like. I know we talked about it at the beginning of this episode.
The barber, the local barber. Let me tell you,
you know everything from those guys. You know, but it's just like we were talking about earlier. The news says kids are not the same, but then I go outside and I'm like, kids are the same.
Kids are the same.
So,
I think they are. We'll go back to that.
Yeah.
You know, yes, kids are doing some things that maybe wasn't available to when I was a kid. They're playing video games. They're all that. But I do get pleased lately when I realize that kids are outside doing kid stuff.
Yes, they still are.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And then what does networking mean to you and for the continued economic growth of Jackson?
Boy, first thing comes to my mind. Mm-hmm. I worked for a company called Safety Systems, and I had a lot of jobs. I'm one of these guys that never stayed a long time with a job. I've always had successful jobs, made a living and this and that. But I worked for a company for quite a while called Safety Systems, and I was a Napoleon Township firefighter for a while.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
So they hired me in their fire extinguisher end of business. They mostly did burglar alarms.
Okay.
And I was their top sales for fire extinguishers, and they had a job opening for burglar alarm, fire alarm sales, which is a high-end sales job. In the job, the listing for the job, 2-year degree or whatever, or associate's degree in marketing, preferred, I didn't know the degree. But hey, man, I'm selling 3 times more than these guys over here. Give me a chance.
Yeah.
And they put me on their sales team, and I was their number 2 salesperson for many years.
Gotcha.
And so networking to me, I think, is a natural ability. Yep. You can't be taught that.
No, you can't.
You can't. You can go to college and you can hold that degree all you want. The most successful networking or marketing or salespeople I've ever met, it's a natural ability.
Yes, sir.
And so just like networking, I guess I realized that you take the Drive Jackson that I talked about, put those people in a room. It's networking.
Yes, it is. Yep.
It's networking.
Yes, sir.
You know, you can take Mayor Mahoney. I've known him for a long time. We get along well. We're politically not the same, but we get along well. He was on there. We haven't spoken in a few years. Well, we spoke. We're networking.
Yep.
And the people in there that didn't know me, they're like, he's a normal guy. Yep. I think, they're a normal guy. Yeah, that doctor over there, he's living in a way nicer home than I am, but he's just a normal guy. So that's networking.
Yeah. Well, and people knowing your name goes a long way. Like now, and it's not for a fame or an ego thing, but now people know me and know my name.
Yeah.
It opens more doors. If there's ever something that I may need or need help with, it's just
you have opportunity
that other people will never have, just because I'm not afraid to say, hey, Russ, can I interview you?
Hey, a good example of that is being from Michigan Center. There's some doing type people out there, hardworking.
Yep.
I know flooring guy, electricians, plumbers, rubbers, carpenters, mechanics, all this. I'm one of these guys that says, I've got a guy for everything.
Yes, sir.
I've got a guy for everything. Yep. Pump goes out, I know a guy to call for a pump.
Yep.
Or I know a guy that's going to know a guy.
Exactly.
And that's networking.
Yes, it is.
You know, so the same thing in social issues, like you were just referencing there. I don't know. Do you know a guy like, okay, hey, I'm having trouble with a zoning issue.
Yeah.
Well, if it's in Leone, give me a call. You know, I might tell you you're screwed.
Yeah.
But you know a guy.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So I think everybody has those opportunities, but they don't register in their mind that person might be useful. You might be useful for one another in the future.
Yeah. Well, and
never delete anybody from your phone.
Yeah. Never.
Sad part is I go through there and a lot of them have passed away.
Yeah.
But never. I am a contact hog.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you said that, Russ. And this might be an issue. some people don't like the way I say this. A friendship is a mutually beneficial thing. You are my friend because I can do something for you. You are my friend because you can do something for me. People say that's cynical. That's not what it is. That's what a friendship is. Why would me and you be talking and be friendly if we get nothing from each other?
I've got a best friend 35 years. I swear he's done way more for me than I've ever done for him.
Understood.
And I'm the only one that looks at it that way. He doesn't look at it that way. And unfortunately, him and I don't see each other as much as we used to. He just lives in Parma. But, I've done things for him, though.
Yeah.
To me, though, I think he's done way more for me than I ever done for him. But he probably looks at it differently.
Well, and probably because me speaking on this, so I might be able to help somebody more financially when I was painting cars. I had a lot more money. But you helped me in ways that you might not ever know. Hey, man, me and my wife were on the outs. I was whatever. I could call you up and I could crash on your couch.
Right.
That's worth $10,000 to me just because I gave you, whatever.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's not how many favors, it's the magnitude of the favor. Like you let me hide from my wife for a night. That's worth however much money,
There's referencing my 35-year best friend.
Yeah.
And there's a couple in my life like that. They called me on the phone and said, I need 10 grand right now. I'm not saying I have 10 grand, but if I wouldn't even ask why. Yeah, where you need it, why?
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Or if I didn't have it, I'd find it. I'd do my best to find it. There's a couple people in my life, I wouldn't even ask why. I wouldn't even ask when you're going to pay me back because I know they eventually will or whatever. No questions. Now, most people are like, why?
Why?
You're going to pay me back?
Yeah.
But true friends,
Don't even ask.
wouldn't even ask. Wouldn't even ask why. I've got two of them right off the top of my head that wouldn't even ask.
And there's very few people like that. Very few. It's funny. Me and my friend Brandon are like that. And we're not even that friend. Like we see each other here or there, but he's getting his license back and whatever, drinking problems like I had. And I pulled my life around. My paper can go a long way in writing that he's changed his life. And it did. It really did. But I just thought how cool that is.
It's been 25 years, but I've had 2 drunk driving.
No kidding.
It's been 25 years.
Okay.
I jokingly say the officers that arrested me for that are long since retired.
Yeah.
But you learn.
Yeah.
I stopped doing that.
Yep.
Not that I don't. Me and the wife might not. We don't go very often. We might go to the bar, sing some karaoke. But let me tell you, you ain't gonna see me driving. You ain't gonna see me at all doing that.
It's funny. It's such a small world. I'm sure you know Patrick Bolter.
No, I don't.
Okay, so he's Detective Patrick Bolter now with Black.
Okay, I know.
So he's the one that gave 3 DUIs. I got 3 in a month.
Jesus,
dude,
you were being a real asshole.
Yeah, I was. And I wasn't even 21. It was just terrible. A kid that had no repercussions. But whatever. I got my act together. But that's how we kind of know Jacobson. That's
By the way, I mentioned it to you, Chris Jacobson. He's not. I live on a lake. We call each other neighbors when we're not neighbors. He just lives around the corner from me.
Okay.
And I like Jake a lot. Since I was elected as a township, Leone Township trustee, he's our, he's retired from Blackman and he works as a captain for Napoleon, but he's also our ordinance officer for Leone. And I've did some ride-arounds with him, and stuff like that. So that's good people right there. When I see him, he was on the show, I'm like, whoa, Jake's on the show.
Do you know the Pelfreys at all?
Oh yeah, Mark Pelfrey.
Okay, yep. So my wife works with his wife. So that's
not Mark and Michelle. Yeah. Well, I don't know them super well, but I know them and they know me, and it's just Michigan Center thing.
Have you ever heard the 6th degree of separation? It's like you can get to anybody in the world by 6 people, and I truly believe that.
I've heard that before.
Me knowing you, well, hell, you probably know the governor or something like that because of your position.
I don't.
So, okay, but I'm saying example wise.
Hopefully, wait. Yep. Hopefully, I know the next governor because all 5 or 6 of them running for governor on the Republican side, I have all their phone numbers. And I'm like, one day I'm going to know the governor. But we got to win elections to do that.
Yes, sir. Man, so
I know former governors.
Yeah, no, that's so the future of what's next for you? Like what's next?
So I am retired. I'm retired early, and my full-time hobby that I take very serious and is a serious position is chairman of the Jackson Republican Party. Okay. I put a lot into that. I won my election in 24 to be on Leone Township a trustee, but I got a little political story there too. I think it was in 2016. we had a county commissioner in my area that ran for state reps. We couldn't run for county commission. There was an open seat.
Okay.
We call it an open seat. And my friend, Corey Kennedy, current county commissioner, announced he was going to run for that seat. And as much as I didn't want to, I wanted it too. And I said, well, I'm going to run too. So we ran against each other in a primary. Kind of strained our friendships. We're cool now. Those things can be tough.
Oh, I'm sure.
But he beat me pretty good.
Okay.
Now, I did win my precinct really good, my area.
Yeah.
You know, my neighbors. And tell you the truth, in my opinion, he's our best county commissioner. I'm glad he beat me. He's the guy for the job.
Understood.
And then, I think it was 2020. I thought, well, I want to run for township treasurer. And the lady that's the treasurer now, I know her now, but at the time I didn't know her. I did know her a little bit, but I was like, oh, I'm going to beat her.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the treasurer of the Republican Party and all this. Let me tell you, she waxed me. That losing that election in the primary hurt. I said, man, this one, man, maybe I'm a wackadoo. What's going on? And she's turned out to be good treasurer. So, you know, in hindsight.
Yeah.
And then 24 election cycle come up, and I said, I'm going to run for trustee. You know, I was biting too much off running for county commission and treasurer and all that. Yeah. And I ended up winning on that. And I'll coming back to your question. That takes a lot of time, but not as much time. There's obligations you have to do with that. You have a packet to review, and you're making decisions for your community, and you have to take them seriously. I can put things off at the Jackson Republican Party. I've got other people. So, but that takes most of my time. And then the township thing. I'm one of these board members where I'm often the one that'll say no, but I don't do it in a way to offend their other board members. I learned that you need to be friendly with them and to get things done. You can be a bull in a china shop and we're going to change the world. Guess what? You're not going to get anything done.
Gotcha.
So I work well with my board. And about 1 in 24, my first real election. So
awesome.
Yeah,
man. I
just didn't give up.
Yeah,
I just kept going. Yeah.
You've just enticed me because I love your story and I love talking to you. I feel like I swayed away from what I really wanted to do. But this has been great. But this has been great regardless. What's something that people don't know about Russ Jennings? Not the Republican, not the bar owner, not the. What does people not know about you that you'd be willing to share?
I'm not rich. I had an incident with a person that was running for governor. Doesn't live around here. She has a whole huge social media presence. Lumped me in with billionaires like Russ Jennings and Mike Cox, and I'm like, billionaire? Me and my wife, I think we make $72K together. You know what I mean? We're just normal people. And when you asked to be on the show, and I was talking to Chris, who was our chief of staff at the time, he's just been promoted to secretary, but he's my right-hand man.
Gotcha.
He goes, Russ, you being on that show is great because your audience is a vast audience, bigger than my audience on my podcast. By the way, I do podcasts. So, maybe you can show that you're a normal person. Yeah. Okay. I have a button-up shirt and a collar. This is the kind of shirts I like. Okay. But I'm a normal guy. I pulled up in a 2013 Malibu. You know what I mean? Yep. I'm just a normal guy. Yes, sir. I've worked hard. I have been lucky to have jobs. I've never held a career. I'm one of those bouncers, but I've always had jobs where I've made decent money, better than most. And, but I pissed it away, you know, but age changes you. I'm happy and I love my family. I wish I'd seen my grandkids more. And I like our community. I like where we live. And, you know, back to like Chris says, you know, I want people to know I'm just a normal guy, wanting better for Jackson, our community, our state, our nation.
I'm glad you said that, Russ, because no, that's you watch the news or you watch it, and I say that very vaguely, but you watch these people. It is, I think elected officials lost the idea that people want you to be like us, because when I see people on the TV, I'm like, just because I want to dress like this, most of America doesn't want to. Most of America wants somebody like. I'll go as far as to say that's why Donald Trump got elected, because he acted normal.
So
you
for
know,
a billionaire,
yeah.
for arrogant billionaire,
Yep.
I'm amazed at how he relates to normal people. Before he became president, I would have never guessed that.
Never.
I would never support the billionaire class.
Exactly.
And he, in my opinion, and there's a lot of people out there that's going to disagree with me, I think he's done an awesome job at for not experiencing normal people stuff ever in his life.
Yep.
He kind of has a better finger on the pulse than what I ever expected.
Do.
I
agree.
He's a caring guy.
Yep.
I think you got to be a caring guy.
Yep.
Something with my size, and I don't smile enough. Some people think that, oh, he's a dick asshole.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
There's no one I won't talk to or even help a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, just a normal dude.
Awesome.
Getting through, just like every Jackson guy, man.
Yeah.
One quick thing. My wife was born and raised in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
Her mother was a school teacher, raised her in a beautiful home on the east side of Ann Arbor, all on her own.
Okay.
And she worked downtown Ann Arbor.
Beautiful area.
She had moved to Jackson prior to me meeting her 5-6 years. Mm-hmm. And she's a true Jackson woman now. She loves Jackson. Yep. She don't even visit Ann Arbor, let alone move back there.
Yeah.
And this is normal people talking. She always says, man, you Jackson people are some enterprising motherfuckers. What is up with that? And I said, I think this has a lot to do with it. At least in my generation, our parents lost jobs in Clark Equipment and Goodyear and all these manufacturers, and we were teenagers and we were struggling, and they had good lives and it was taken away, and we had to learn to get by. Yep. We had to learn to get by. Claw, scratch, everything, and that still exists in Jackson. Mm-hmm. Things don't come easy in Jackson, but it makes for hardy people.
Yes, it does.
It really does.
Before I ask my wrap-up questions, and we kind of, I say fizzle out because I don't rush to the end. So before we get to that point, I do want to say, we say it all the time. There's no agenda. There's no this. There's no this. But I want to say to your face, like, because I don't know how to say this, but. So I've enjoyed you. I've loved you being on. I would like to say. I think
we're going to be buddies.
That's what I'm saying. So, and I say all this to say, so Jared Hopkins was my lawyer.
Yeah.
And he wanted to come on. He's a very well-known Republican.
He ran for prosecutor.
Yep. And now he's running for judge. So
I've heard that.
So he lost to Guernsey.
By the way, he'd probably make a great judge.
Yeah, yes, he would. But I say all that to also say that I am friends with Amador, and I have hit it off with Adi and Sovo very well, which is a known Democrat in Ann Arbor. And I say all that just to say that I appreciate you guys understanding that not everybody is red or blue. That some of us just I fucking like people, Russ. I like you. I like you.
I will tell you, I'm as red as they come. I am a Donald Trump loving. As red as they come.
Understood.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that I don't respect a large element of the people on the left.
Gotcha.
Some far left I can't stomach.
Well,
same thing with them.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, try to understand where they're coming from. Yep. And I hope that they can try to do the same thing.
Well,
we're just people.
And that's what I've been blessed with, is I'll say the devil's advocacy type part is I can understand both sides. I truly do, because I understand having that strong of emotions on subjects. I just like people. I do. I just like people.
I think that's maybe I'm in your boat.
Thank you.
I'm a liker of people.
Yeah, it's like
There's some people I stay away from.
Yeah, well, because I don't like you. I don't like you. I don't like nothing you stand for.
I don't think there's many that I'd say I hate. Yeah. If over the years there's a couple people that might have put themselves in that category. I don't hate them anymore. No, I don't keep hate.
No, and that's a strong word.
I just might stay away from them or whatever.
Well, and that's such a strong word.
It is.
But some people, I've gone as far to say I fucking hate you, but I haven't held it. But
right.
It's a strong word.
You've been done wrong. You've been done wrong. I get it.
Oh, that's a really good question. I forgot. We asked that to Amador, so she wanted me to re-ask it to you to get some. If you could have dinner with one historical figure, who would it be and why?
It's funny you said that, because I watched Amador answer that, and I knew exactly what I'd answer.
Okay.
And it was Lincoln.
No shit.
And that's what Amador said. Now, Amador is more of a historian than I am.
Understood.
I don't retain historical stories and background like I've learned that Amador does, or a lot of people around me. But it'd be Lincoln.
Okay.
The Republican Party was formed in Jackson, Michigan in 1854, July 6, 1854, by the abolitionists. And abolitionists were the people that were to abolish slavery. Okay. And then a few years later, Lincoln was elected as that Republican platform. And so that's basically what made their... When it was formed in 1854 under the Oaks in Jackson, Michigan, no one knew or cared. But Lincoln, I believe, is what made the party. Now, the party's changed over the years, for the better, the worse. I feel maybe for the better. But Lincoln, it'd be Lincoln. So me and Amador would have dinner with the same person. His reason is different. His explanation.
Yeah, no, I would love to get you two in the same room and talk.
By the way,
I would love
all right.
that.
What happened? I watched him on the show. I called Amador. Was it a Sunday?
It's something. I think it was.
It was late in the evening. I texted him. I said, I can wait till tomorrow, but can you take a phone call? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. And I called him. I'm like, I think this is a crazy question, but do you want to go on my show? So I do 2 podcasts.
Yes, sir.
So I do a weekly podcast, called Stick the Plan Podcast, every Monday at 2. And it's a political podcast.
Okay.
And then
sorry, not to cut you off, just so I can write that on so people know it. Give me 1 second. So what is it called?
Stick the Plan.
Stick to.
And it's on Rumble, YouTube, and we have a Facebook page. You can catch it on that Facebook page.
Podcast. Okay, sorry, and you are good to continue. I apologize.
Yep, and then we just created one specific to the Jackson GOP, and that's called the Under the Oaks podcast. And that we pre-record that, and then it launches the last Wednesday of every month. Okay. But I'm not necessarily the host to that. We change host.
Gotcha.
And then with different guests.
That's unique.
But my son Kevin is the producer of all of them. I showed you our podcast studio.
Yeah,
and
it's nice.
Then he does all kinds of different shows out of there. It's been neat to do that, and I don't remember the root of the question there. I even brought those up.
Well, because I said I'd like to get you two in the same room.
I call Amador. I said, Amador, maybe I'm crazy for asking, but I just watched you on Prisoner2Painter. Will you come on my podcast? And he goes, I don't know, man, if that's a good idea, Russ. And I go, Amador, I think you're probably right. It's probably not the greatest idea. He goes, and I think he gave me your number.
Yep.
He says, call Nathan. He'd probably love to have you on. But we talked about the 2 of us being on this show.
I would love
if you can accommodate the 2 guests. I don't know what that would look like. Like I said, him and I do really good at staying away from issues that I'm not going to change his mind on. He's going to change mine. But that conversation that exists about maybe the both of us.
I know that it's in the air. I had coffee with Amador, and I just said, man, if we can make that happen, maybe we could write up pre-approved questions, whatever. So you get, whatever stuff you want to say, whatever we got to do, or wing it. I don't care.
Amador probably, he might want it more. Me, I'm a wing it guy. I'm not scared to wing it.
I'm not.
We'd be fine. If you wanted to throw some out or something, I'd be all right with that. But I'm a wing it guy.
It's funny you say that, because all this, I think I asked 2 questions that I wrote down. I think I did.
Those are the best shows. By the way, I wouldn't have made all that. I don't even try to prepare like that. Your wife did that for you, didn't she?
She did. That's funny. Yep, she did. But no, I'm better at, because I know what I want out of it. I know I want to hear a little bit of this. I want to hear a little bit of that.
And we barely scratched the surface.
I know.
You never. I've learned on my shows, you can never, especially if you talk about, I'm 59 years old. We're going to talk about my life.
Yeah, I know. We
where do you even begin?
Yeah. Well, and that's the issue. Well, see, but I also enjoy that, because now it gives me something to invite you back on. So I missed the bar years, really. So now it gives me an opportunity, couple months. Hey, Russ, can we retouch on something?
Yeah. I was
it leaves the door
BS
open.
Jobs as a kid, worked at the prison for 10 years, screwed around in sales, worked for Rick LeMasters and a couple of his places over the years. I consider Rick a friend of mine. And my son, Kevin, my oldest son's worked for him off and on over the years. And,
awesome.
And then bought McThirsty's and I'm going to give people. I had a text last night from an old friend about the bar business. I said, don't do it.
Mhm.
If you're not going in it at the Rick LeMaster's type level,
Mhm.
the corner bar level.
Yep. Just don't do it.
You some of them that still exist, you notice that there used to be a church and a bar on every corner in
Yeah.
Jackson. A lot of bars are gone. There's very few corner bars left,
Yep.
but they're usually retired people. And I swear to God, they're coming out of pocket to keep them going.
Yep.
The margins that you charge for beers and burgers in Jackson
Mhm.
is way too low
Yep.
to pay the consumers the taxes, the fees,
Mhm.
the insurance, and
Yeah.
everything else. I never made a profit in the 7 years we were there.
Mhm.
Now, we did. Me and my wife both worked there. We paid our house payment and consumers
got
and
you, I got
ate.
you.
It's
Yeah.
not like, but one day we were like, oh, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And we went back to work. But luckily, someone bought my liquor license and I ended up selling the business. And I don't regret it.
Mhm.
But I would never do it again.
Yep. I got to the point of the wrap up questions. A, if we could talk about that more, I would love to have you both on. B, Rick LeMasters once told me, and I don't want to speak too much for him. I've been begging him to come on, but he told me it's not about the bar business, it's about the real estate that he owns.
He does.
And I just held on to that. He said it's not about the bars.
So I
about the real
avoid
estate.
talking about him specifically.
Yeah.
He is a great friend of mine and a mentor.
Yes, sir.
I told you yesterday, when you talk about successful business people in Jackson, he's a difficult one. I don't think you can learn what he does.
Mhm.
And but it is the real estate at the end of the day.
Yep.
I've been around him for over 20 years, and I've watched many places that he's opened, and then he sells the business to the people that operate them, and they've all been successful.
Yeah.
I think a couple haven't, but
Yeah.
most have been widely successful.
Yeah, I mean,
And he gives people opportunities, and for those people I never knew how that worked, but at the end of the day, if I was in that position and I was his age, he's older than I am.
Yep.
You look at retirement, he's renting that real estate up, and so that's income.
Yep.
I get it. So
Smart man.
I think he might be right on that. But by the way, like I said, though, his path to success can't be taught.
No.
It cannot be taught. We know some successful people. We talked about them, and maybe you can learn off them, and you can learn off Rick. But he's whatever he touches turns to gold.
Something you can't duplicate. You just can't duplicate
it.
that. Yep, I get that.
Yep, and I do see him jumping on this podcast.
No, dude,
He's,
I go and I talk to him. I have lunch with the guy.
Yeah.
His son's interested. Rick's like, nah.
Grandsons.
Yeah. Rick's like, don't even want.
No, and he's great to talk to. You'll sit for 2 hours and talk to him.
Yep.
But
When I
know
talk
him,
about introducing a camera, no, he
Yeah,
doesn't want
you
nothing
know.
to do with it. Yeah.
No, he's not only a friend, he is a mentor.
Yes, sir.
He really is.
So our wrap up questions are the same for every guest. It's kind of how we keep. That's how we put everybody in the same category. Is that you ask the same questions. It's kind of, you said that we got a bunch of people in the same room that we'd never have in the same room, not at the same time, but what's your definition of success?
Family, boy, I'm not as eager for over success like I used to be. Fat and happy. Me and the wife are eating. We've got a nice little lake home.
Yes, sir.
I got a pontoon.
Gotcha.
Got a car too. I think I'm successful in my role as a county chair.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to our office.
It's nice.
And it's not just me, but I was at the right place, right time. And we have the best headquarters in the state. There's 83 counties. We have the best headquarters in the state. And that's really launched us. And so that's part of my success and my people that are around me success. So awesome. I don't know. You just got to you get to a point where you just got to be happy inside with what you have. Once you're happy and you stop chasing it so bad, it comes.
Yes,
it starts coming.
Yep.
I mean, I remember where I was just eager for something else. I'm not eager for something else. Now, when you're not eager for it, it comes along.
Yep.
So it's best explanation there.
Yes, sir.
That's a hard one for old people to say.
If you had one word to sum up your whole journey, one word, what would it be?
I got 3, so you always say. So usually I say, well, the struggle is real. So let's sum this up into one word. Boy, I can't think of that one word. I've seen people hung up on this before too.
Yep.
Let's just say win.
Win. Okay. Well, yeah.
I had to pull that one out. I didn't know something going on there.
So one of Katie's favorite questions: if younger you met older you, and then older you met younger you, would you both get along? Do you think younger you would like you, and would older you like younger?
So I have adult sons, and they're very similar to why I was there, and I get along with them.
Awesome.
We would probably get along.
Okay.
Here's my advice to people, because I didn't for many, many years. Start listening, men.
Yep.
Start listening to your dad.
Yes, sir.
My dad, and when I said in the beginning, as a kid, it was mostly mom. He has given me advice that I hated several times, and I didn't take, and it always comes back that advice I should have taken.
Yep.
And I find myself doing that now with my sons, and they're resistant to taking that advice. You can only give it.
Yeah.
You can't force it. So, but I look back, man, I wish I had 3, 4, 5 things. I wish I would have taken Dad's advice.
Yes, sir.
So,
last question: is there anything I missed? Is there anything you want to share? Anything that you came on wanting to say and I missed?
Probably is. I can't think of it. Like I said, you can't hit it all. I'm happy that I had an opportunity to come over here and do this. I'm happy that I got to know you, and keep plugging along, doing what you do with this, man. It's pretty cool. I think maybe Chris was telling me, Chris Baird, who's had some success in clips podcasting. He says, oh, sometimes like this show, you're such an array of guests that you don't know what you're going to get into. But I don't know. I think maybe that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're focused on one thing and then people would know, I'll go get that information there. I don't know if that's it. We talked about it. It's all in luck.
It is.
I think it is.
No matter what, some of it is the right person at the right time has to
or
see
the
it.
topic that you just happen to come on.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, like me and you talked about, I think I told you about me and Chief Pittman's story. If that doesn't get some sort of newsworthy stuff, like what the hell is?
I thought Chief Pittman was supposed to retire the first of the year, man. I still see he's out there. I'm glad. I'm glad. I used to be a Napoleon firefighter long before he was hired.
Okay.
And so I live in Leone now, Michigan Center. Come on, it's right next. I have love for Napoleon and their police department and their fire department. You know, so.
That's funny, man. That's so cool. Yeah, no, he said he was going to retire, and I don't know him as well as a lot of people. I haven't known him as long, but even I kind of.
But that's not the story.
Like, you're not going to retire, Chief.
You would think that many chiefs are like, yeah, I'm not coming over your house and doing your stupid show.
Yeah. No, seriously.
You would think.
Yep. Yeah. And he was just so enthralled to do it. Just he wanted to. He called that kind of guy. Me and asked me. Yeah. I mean, I bugged him once. I was like, I'm not.
He's that kind of guy.
Yep. Yeah. Russ, thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Really, I'm going to cut this.
All right.
Now, before we go, will you sign my table?
Yep. Is that what we do?
Cool. Yes, sir. Awesome.
Is that where you started up there?